7 things every English learner should avoid saying. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Everyday English. I'm Peter, and today I want to dive into a topic that really changed my approach to learning English. It's all about the little phrases we use every day, phrases that might be holding us back without us even realizing it. I'm sure many of you have experienced that feeling. You understand English perfectly well when you're listening to the radio, watching your favorite TV show, or even reading an article. But when it comes to speaking, something just doesn't click. I used to freeze up, forget words, and then feel incredibly frustrated. I'd catch myself saying things like, "My English is bad," or "It's too difficult." And honestly, those words were like weights holding me down. It wasn't until I took a long, hard look at my self-talk that I realized the way I was talking to myself was actually slowing down my progress. So today, I'm going to share with you 7 things every English learner should avoid saying, and the positive alternatives that helped me break free and boost my confidence. Trust me, this shift in mindset was a game changer for me, and I believe it can be for you too. Let's start with the first one. Avoid saying, "My English is bad." I remember the countless times I would begin a conversation with an apology. "Sorry, my English is bad." I'd say it so automatically that I didn't even realize how much it undermined my confidence. The moment I said it, it felt like my brain was giving itself permission to not try as hard. It was like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it affected how others interacted with me too. Instead, I switched my mindset and began saying, "I'm still learning English, so please bear with me." This small change did wonders. Not only did it soften the conversation, but it also reminded me, and anyone I spoke with, that learning is a journey. It set a positive tone, inviting patience and understanding rather than criticism. Think about it. How many times have you said, "My English is bad"? Now, try to imagine what would change if you simply said, "I'm still learning English, so please bear with me." Give it a try the next time you're about to speak. 2. Avoid saying, "It's too difficult." Have you ever looked at a complex grammar rule or a fast-paced dialogue and thought, "It's too difficult"? I used to say that all the time. The problem with that phrase is that it instantly creates a mental barrier. It tells your brain, "This is too hard, don't bother trying." And then you start believing it. What worked for me was rephrasing it to, "I find it challenging, but I'm willing to figure it out." By acknowledging the difficulty while expressing determination, I shifted from a mindset of defeat to one of growth. Suddenly, instead of running away from challenges, I started seeing them as opportunities to learn something new. If something seems tough, instead of saying, "It's too difficult," remind yourself that every challenge is a chance to improve. This simple tweak can boost your resilience over time. And hey, one of the best strategies that helped me achieve fluency is practicing conversations, even on my own. You might ask, but how can I practice conversations by myself? Well, to help you with that, I've prepared a complete guide titled "How to Improve My English by Practicing Conversations, Even Alone." You can get this guide for free in PDF format by clicking the link in the description or in the pinned comment. Saying, "I'll try." This one might sound a bit surprising, but hear me out. When I say "I'll try," it often carries a hidden note of uncertainty. It's like I'm not fully committing to the task. I remember feeling like I was always on the edge of giving up because deep down I wasn't sure I could do it. So I replaced "I'll try" with a more empowering phrase. "I will do my best." Saying, "I will do my best," not only signals a stronger commitment, but it also frames every attempt as a chance to give your all, even if you don't succeed perfectly. It's a promise to yourself that you're putting in every ounce of effort you can muster. Think about it. What you say to yourself matters. Next time you're hesitant, commit fully by saying, "I will do my best," and notice the difference in your mindset. 4. Avoid saying, "It's impossible." There was a time when I would hear myself think, "It's impossible to speak English fluently." I mean, why bother, right? But that phrase shut down any possibility of creative solutions. When you tell yourself something is impossible, you're essentially closing the door before you even step through it. So I started reframing it as, "It seems challenging, but let me look for possible solutions." This approach acknowledges the difficulty without locking you into a defeatist mindset. It opens up your mind to new strategies and possibilities. I remember tackling a particularly tricky pronunciation issue, and instead of resigning myself with, "It's impossible," I thought, "It seems challenging, but I'll find a way." And find a way, I did. Next time you're faced with a problem, challenge that thought. Remind yourself, "It seems challenging, but there's always a solution if I look for it." Yeah. Avoid saying, "I don't need help." One of the biggest mistakes I made was insisting on doing everything alone. I thought that saying, "I don't need help," was a sign of strength. But in reality, it only isolated me from the support that I desperately needed. When you say, "I don't need help," you block out opportunities for learning from others. Now, I embrace the power of community by saying, "Thank you, I appreciate your offer. I could use some help with this." This simple shift not only opens up the conversation but also shows that you're willing to learn and improve. I started joining language exchange groups and online forums, and I can honestly say that seeking help accelerated my progress immensely. If you're ever tempted to shut down an offer of help, try accepting it instead. You might be surprised by how much you can learn from others. Avoid saying, "I'm not good at English." I used to say, "I'm not good at English" all the time, which created a self-fulfilling prophecy. Every time I said it, I reinforced a negative belief about my abilities. It's ironic because I was saying it in English, proving that I could communicate. Yet I still undermined myself. Now I say, "I'm still developing my language skills, but I'm determined to improve." This change in phrasing helped me focus on progress rather than perfection. It reminds me that every mistake is a stepping stone toward becoming more fluent. It's not about being perfect, it's about being better than you were yesterday. Take a moment to reflect on your self-talk. Replace, "I'm not good at English" with, "I'm still developing my language skills, but I'm determined to improve," and notice how it changes your perspective. Avoid saying, "I'll do it later." Procrastination, my old nemesis. I used to say, "I'll do it later" all the time. Whether it was studying, practicing, speaking, or even reviewing new vocabulary, that phrase always ended up meaning nothing got done. It became an excuse for inaction. The breakthrough for me was realizing that postponing only delays progress. Now, I say, "I'll start on it now," or if I need to plan, I'll set a specific time to do it. This change forced me to take action immediately, or at least schedule it with intent. It transformed my study habits and made my learning process much more efficient. I began to see that every moment counts when you're learning a language. I challenge you to replace "I'll do it later" with a commitment to start now. Even if it's just a small step, taking action is what will drive you forward. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. The words we choose every day don't just describe our reality, they shape it. For years, I didn't realize that my own self-talk was holding me back from reaching my full potential in English. Once I started changing those negative phrases into positive, action-oriented ones, everything began to shift. I felt more confident, my progress accelerated, and I started enjoying the journey a lot more. Remember, learning a language is not just about mastering grammar and vocabulary, it's also about cultivating the right mindset. Every phrase you say to yourself can either build you up or hold you down. So next time you catch yourself using one of these limiting phrases, pause and try one of the alternatives we talked about today. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these phrases do you find yourself saying the most? And which one are you most excited to change? Feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I hope this conversation has inspired you to rethink your self-talk and take bold steps toward improving your English. Remember, every small change in the way you speak to yourself can lead to significant improvements in your fluency and confidence. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends who are also on their English learning journey. I can't wait to catch up with you in our next episode. Until then, keep challenging yourself, keep speaking, and, most importantly, keep believing that you're capable of amazing progress.